Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over the 2022 gubernatorial elections map, and I'm doing my predictions for 2022 governors as of September 8th, 2021. So first things first, because Virginia and California are on here, I'm going to be doing the 2021 elections first. So I do think both of these states will be won by the Democrats. I think the Virginia race will be likely in the 5 to 6 point range, which puts it in the likely column for former Governor Terry McAuliffe defeating Glenn Youngkin. As for the California recount, the polls were very close a few weeks ago, but now the lead seems to have opened up for a no do not recall. And I think, honestly, putting it in the safe column is possible, but I'm going to be, in my opinion, generous, and I'm going to put California in the likely column as well. So, again, Virginia and California for the 2021 elections, not 2022. 2022 California I'll be making at a later date once the recall is determined. So, with that, Democrats win Virginia and California. They are at 7 seats, and Republicans are at 7 seats. So now I'm thinking I'm going to go from west to east since I already did these two. The state of Oregon. Oregon is an interesting state because the incumbent Democrat is retiring. I don't know of any high notable Republican candidates yet, but I do also know Oregon is actually closer usually in the midterms than on the presidential level. So for now, I'm going to put Oregon in the likely column. That doesn't mean I think the race is going to be too competitive or that the Democrats are in any danger of losing it, but more of Oregon's one of the surprise states in the midterms you never really see being close, but it is. The state of Idaho, I think Idaho will be safe. I believe their governor is not term limited, so I think they'll be safe. Wyoming, I think, will be safe as well. There won't be too much contention there. The state of Hawaii, I'm not sure. I don't think the current governor is running for re-election, but I think it'll be safe anyway because it is Hawaii. I believe his name is Mike. It's either Delaney or Dunleavy in Alaska. He will win re-election fairly confidently, probably over 10 points. I don't really see too much competition out of the state of Alaska. The states of Nevada, Arizona, I'm going to come back to because I think these two states are the pure battlegrounds that I really want to discuss. Actually, I don't like that color, the gray. I'm going to change that to this. Hopefully that can help see a little better. So, yeah. So Nevada and Arizona are going to be in the battleground column for now. The state of Colorado, or Nevada and Arizona, Colorado is not a swing state anymore. It hasn't been for the last few cycles. I think Colorado going safe, honestly, without a strong Republican opponent is honestly pretty likely. The state of New Mexico, it depends. If the Republicans can field a good candidate, this race could be potentially close. I don't know of anyone yet. I do know Mark Ronchetti, who ran, I believe it's either 2018 or 2020, made it very close. So if he were to run, things could get made closer. But for now, I'm putting New Mexico in the safe column until I hear otherwise. The state of South Dakota, with Kristi Noem, I fully expect this one to be a much bigger margin this time around. I don't know if it's going to be safe, but maybe in between safe and likely. I'm going to put in safe for now, but that could be a smaller margin as well. The state of Nebraska, I think, will be safe. I don't think there'll be too much competition. The state of Oklahoma, I think, will be safe as well. The state of Kansas, which is currently a Democratic governor, actually, I believe it's Laura Kelly is her name. I do think this race is going to flip. I don't think Laura Kelly is doing a bad job. So I think likely, lean, somewhere in that column. I'm going to put it in likely for now, but I fully expect if the Republican candidate is not Chris Kobach, Republicans should do pretty good in Kansas. Texas really shouldn't be too competitive for Republican Governor Greg Abbott unless Matthew McConaughey does run or maybe Beto O'Rourke runs. Things could get closer. For now, I think saying Texas goes in the likely column for Greg Abbott is a pretty reasonable thing to say. Arkansas, I think it'll be safe Republican. I expect it to be Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The daughter of Mike Huckabee will be the candidate in President Trump's Sean Spicer's second press secretary will be the next governor of Arkansas, I expect. Tennessee, I think Tennessee will likely go safe as well. Maybe it might be a little closer, but I think safe is pretty good. Alabama, I expect fully to be safe. I don't see too much competition there. The state of South Carolina, we've seen South Carolina get close in recent elections, but I don't think governor in a Republican wave year will be below 10 points. The state of Florida, I'm going to come back to because I think that's going to be very, very important. The state of Florida, we're seeing some narrowing polls here and there, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not buying most of them. I mean, Florida is a very, very close state, so yes, it is possible for it to be close, but I don't think these polls that have like Ron DeSantis up by 1 or Ron DeSantis down by 5, I don't think they're any credibility at all. I think Ron DeSantis winning it by between 3 to 4% at the moment is very, very fair. I think he might even go up come Election Day. I don't think Ron DeSantis is in too much trouble in Florida yet. The state of Illinois, I think, will be safe. I don't think we'll see a Republican governor out of Illinois for a while. The state of Maryland, actually, this is Republican Governor Larry Hogan. He is retiring. And the lieutenant governor, who is not as popular as Hogan, is not going to run anyway. So I think Maryland will flip as well. New Jersey is actually up in 2021 with Virginia as well. I kind of forgot to cover that one, but yeah, I think New Jersey, we've seen some polls that have gotten a little bit closer. I'm going to put it in the likely column for now just to err on the side of caution, but I fully expect Phil Murphy to get reelected. The state of Minnesota, Minnesota is interesting. They haven't elected a Republican governor for a while, and I don't know who the Republican candidate will be this time around. I don't think it's going to be Mike Lindell. Not after all the election stuff. I don't think it'll be him. If Tim Pawlenty, the former governor, ran again and made it to the general, maybe things might get closer. But for now, I'm going to put Minnesota in the likely column until a prominent Republican governor or Republican governor candidate kind of comes out and shows himself. For Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, all three of these states will be going in the battleground column for me. These are going to be the ones I really want to talk about. Iowa as well. I think Iowa is kind of in the same boat as Florida, where I don't think the governor's in any risk of losing, but the polls could definitely change that, but I think Iowa starts in the lean column for now. Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine is not super well liked, actually, among his own party, funny enough. So it's possible that Governor Mike DeWine may be primaried. There's no confirmed primary candidates yet, but that is something that is certainly a possibility. So for now, I'm going to put Ohio into the likely Republican column. Next, we are going to go to the state of New York, where Andrew Cuomo is now gone. So I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. I think Democrats will win statewide. After New York, we are now going to go to the state of Connecticut, which is funny enough closer in the midterms than the presidential election. It could be a rematch of 2018. So for now, I'm going to put Connecticut in the likely column. Next, we're going to go to Rhode Island, which I don't think will be too much of a competition. I don't think Rhode Island will be close. I'm going to put Rhode Island into the safe column. And I think this is going to happen because Rhode Island in the midterms, for some reason, won't be as close as, say, Connecticut will be. In the state of Massachusetts now, Republican Governor Charlie Baker, he has not indicated whether or not he will run for re-election, but as of now, I fully expect that he will. If he does not run, the race for me goes into tilt Republican or toss-up, depending. But as of now, Charlie Baker eligible to run, so I am going to put Massachusetts into the safe Republican column. Next to Vermont, where we have Republican Governor Phil Scott. Every indication is that he is going to run for re-election. I'm going to put it in the safe to likely column, probably likely for now, but I do think Phil Scott will win at the end of the day. New Hampshire will be a toss-up. I'm going to come back to that state. Maine, I think, will be likely Democrat for now. I don't think with ranked choice voting, there's going to be too much of a contest. I think Janet Mills will be able to beat Paula Page. So, Republicans are at 24, Democrats are at 19. The state of New Hampshire is going to be very, very interesting because you have Chris Sununu, who in all likelihood is going to run for Senate in 2022. And I don't know if things are going to change on that front. But as of now, I expect Chris Sununu will run for Senate. And if he does that, the governor's race is wide open. Two respective candidates I'm looking at on the Republican side is Kelly Ayotte, the former senator. And on the Democratic side, Representative Chris Pappas of District 1, which may be getting redistricted. So I think that is the matchup I would be looking at in terms of who may run for the governorship. And in this, it could really go either way. It is going to be so, so close. But for now, I'm going to put New Hampshire into the tilt Republican column just due to Chris Sununu's kind of impact of being the current governor. Next, we're going to go on to the state of Pennsylvania, where Democratic Governor Tom Wolf will be retiring and due to term limits. And surprisingly enough, Tom Wolf is actually not as popular as he used to be, and it's very much a surprise to me. So I'm going to put Tom Wolf, or not Tom Wolf, excuse me, the Pennsylvania governorship. I'm going to put that into the tilt Republican column for now. Could go really either way. Still waiting to sort out who the candidates are going to be, but I think tilt Republican's a good place to start Pennsylvania for now. The state of Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer going up against likely Republican James Craig. I think this is going to be a very, very close race. Very, very close. Really could go either way. I'm going to wait for more polls to come out to make a 100% prediction on this race, but for now, I'm going to leave it in the tilt Democratic column with Gretchen Whitmer narrowly winning. But this is a race to keep an eye on because this one very well could go to James Craig and the Republicans at the end of the day. Wisconsin, Democratic Governor Tony Evers did defeat Republican Scott Walker in 2018. However, I do think the Republicans are going to run either Kevin Nicholson or Sean Duffy or some Republican in 2022, and I think they'll defeat Tony Evers, making him a one-term governor, and I think Wisconsin will go Republican in the tilt Republican column. Now, next we have the governor's races in Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. In these governor's races, I'm expecting very, very close race, very, very close, and I think, and starting on Arizona, we'll likely have Republican Kimberly Yee, the state treasurer, going up against the Secretary of State Democrat Katie Hobbs. And Katie Hobbs is actually not too well approved of statewide, which I think will be just enough to narrowly keep this race in the tilt Republican column. So I'm going to leave Arizona as tilt R for now. In the state of Nevada, on the other hand, Republican candidates, there are no really strong Republican governor candidates yet. I read a report and did a video a few weeks ago that Dean Heller, the former senator, may run for governor. If he were to do that, I think that would be a prominent Republican to add to the ticket in 2022 and gives this race a legitimate shot at flipping. Until that happens for now, though, I think Democratic Governor Steve Sisolak will be put in the tilt column. He will win re-election at this time. Lastly, in the state of Georgia, I think right now this race is going to be very, very close, but Brian Kemp is under attack from both the right and from the left. He's having to go with primary Vernon Jones, most likely, and President Trump has made his dislike of Brian Kemp very, very vocal. We know that. We also know that the Democrats have not announced candidates notable yet, but if Stacey Abrams does decide she wants to run for this race, I think this race gets a lot more competitive, and I think so much so that I would put Georgia in the tilt Democratic column for now. I don't have anything to base it off polling, but I think it's a hunch from me right now that Georgia will go Democrat in the governor's race in 2022. So that is going to do it for the governor's map. I have the Republicans winning 28 seats, Democrats winning 22. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like the video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber of mine, thank you so much for coming back. I mean, I really appreciate it. I keep checking the analytics and the numbers keep going up for retention rate. So thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.